So this is the Robotech mini arcade from Coleco. It says here the first ever Robotech arcade game. I don't know if that's true. Because I remember playing Robotech games as a kid, and so I'm not sure if this is the actual first one. Basically, what I'm going to do is a quick review of this little mini cab to kind of show off what it's like. I already sat down and filmed the footage kind of playing it, so let's roll that. The one thing I'll say is the cabinet itself looks really good. And the screen, I don't think it's actually showing on here the quality of the screen. It's really nice. A couple fighters you can pick from. It's Rick Hunter, Roy Fokker, it's Max Sterling, Miria, she's one of the Zentradi. Now, right from the get-go, I will say that this is not an original game by Coleco. This is actually a game that was on the Game Boy Advance. The other mini arcade that they have, the Rainbow Bright mini arcade, is an original game. So that's about the highest the volume goes. Alright, let's start this off and let's play. Alright, so Captain Global and Lisa are like, hey, let's do this thing. And what's his name? Ben? This is a very, I guess, to start off with, easy shooter. Ooh, look at that bomb. This being a GBA game, I'm wondering how this works. The GBA had more than a couple of buttons, including shoulder buttons. There's a bomb. Alright. Veritech Fighter had 3 different modes to fight in. Oh, that's the robot, and I guess it puts it down on the ground. Looking at this LCD screen, or LED, or LCD EFG, it looks really good. It's really, I hate to say small, but the screen seems kind of small for what this is. And I just say that, what I mean is, screens are pretty cheap these days. You can go on, let's say, Amazon and buy these video game systems that have 500 Nintendo games for about $15. Great price. So having this like this is just kind of surprising, only because it seems like it's sort of small, and you could buy something probably perhaps the same size for $15 that plays 500 NES games right from Amazon. But beyond that, it's the LED looks good, the colors are good, the responsiveness is pretty solid. I like having the little mini joystick rather than having like a D-pad, and it's very responsive, very awesome. Though again with this, all right, there's really only 3 buttons to use, which is this one with the super bomb, and one to transform you, and the other one transforms you as well. Bomb, transform, transform. I'm not really trying here, I'm just trying to figure things out, and I'm sure if I was really trying, I'd still be almost half dead. This mini arcade, if I was going to grade it, would be, I'm going to say an A. I like the feel of the cabinet itself. It's plastic. It really feels like it is really well made and designed. I was just talking about the cabinet itself. I'm not going to talk about the game. I really like having an actual joystick, and that's pretty nice. And I like that you're able. It's pretty loud. It does have a microphone. An earphone slot, so you can play with the earphones on. And also it has a rechargeable battery, which is nice. You're not putting in 46D batteries. As for the game itself, I love Robotech. Always have. It's one of my favorite cartoons from the 80s, if not my favorite cartoon, overtaking like Thundercats, Voltron, G.I. Joe, Bionic 6, Wheeled Warriors, Star Coms. All that being said, this is basically just a port of a Game Boy game. And playing through this right now, it's not very fun. Kind of sucks because you have to deal with all the riots, like for instance Harmony Gold, and getting permission to use a game and build a cabinet around this. I would think something like this is more interesting. Now, I'm going to say that I'm a little hindered by playing the game like this, the way I'm playing with trying to keep my big old grubby mitts out of the shot, but maybe I'm just not being serious about playing, but this just seems very dull. There is a Rainbow Bright version of the cab, which is actually an RPG game, which is an original game that was made just for this Coleco mini arcade. And I would love to play that, I think, in terms of interest, even though I love Robotech and I have no interest in anything that's Rainbow Bright. I think a brand new game may be able to show off the capabilities a lot more of this. Now, I do want to talk about lag. The game just lagged there for a second, and I'm not sure if that was something that was prevalent in the original game. I'm not sure if this is actually like software installed in the game or if this is running off some sort of ROM or emulator or whatnot, but I don't think I've ever seen a slowdown like that for the Game Boy, which gave me pause when I saw it here. Beyond that, the graphics are good. I mean, it looks and plays like a Game Boy Advance game, made only better because you have an actual joystick. I love the look of this cabinet. Just going to have this up. This is going to go over at the Yet Studio at Handmade Art Studios. And this is going to look great on the shelf. So looks-wise, this is fantastic. In the background, we're getting to the end of the SDF-1. That's the big ship, if you're not familiar. Maybe I'm at a boss battle. Look, big health, and what's going on here? So this is a boss battle, and I mean, that whole time, it really was, to do all that was pretty boring. I'm going to be honest. I really can't believe that I was just getting to this point just to fight this one Zentradi. So overall, this is very compact. It's great. Like, it has a nice little look to it. And again, I think the best part about this is this little joystick. I was an idiot, and it actually took me a little while to find the little volume knob. But overall, I mean, that's knocking pretty hard. So this thing is sturdy. Really like the graphics. Some people might say, if I graded an A, that, this is not an A product. How can you say it's an A product? I've read a lot of negative reviews online, and I'm going to say that these reviews are probably from people who haven't actually played the actual unit. It's easy to sit down and say, well, I think this, and I think that, and think, and that's fine. It's okay to have an opinion on something, but your opinion may differ just a little more than someone who has this in their hands and actually playing it. I love the look of the unit. I love how it feels. I love the weight. If anything, the television screen is kind of too small, and that may be my only big gripe beyond the Robotech game kind of being boring, but there's a lot of different sections to the game. Maybe once I get into it and progress more, it'll be a bit more fun, and that's a possibility, so I'm going to have to find that out. The one thing I do want to mention again is it does have a micro USB cord that comes with it. It doesn't need deep batteries, which is great, because remember the old ones, like this whole thing was just like, I think somehow it took 468 D batteries. I don't know how they fit in. I'm sure it was like one screen, and it was just rows and rows of batteries. So it's nice that we have this. It's nice to have a rechargeable battery. This is going to go up in the Yet Studio, and I can't wait to have this look. But I'm going to sit around and play it for a couple of weeks, and I'm going to try to get a little further than I did in my game demonstration. So, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. We have a lot of great interviews right now, including Chris Cadillo from Coleco, Tommy Tallarico from Intellivision. We have a couple great interviews that I'm not going to announce right now that are forthcoming. So, please subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon.